Manchester United beat Brighton 4-2 at Old Trafford, making it 3 straight wins for Ruben Amorim. Maybe that geezer will be getting his haircut soon. It's his best run as the Manchester United boss. 8 goals scored, 3 conceded. Before we get into it, we should hear from the main Manchester United man, Mr. Adam McKola.
That was a massive win for Manchester United, 4-2 over Brighton. Brighton, a very, very good team. They've beaten Chelsea and Manchester City already this season. And even though it got a little bit squeaky towards the end, it was a massive, massive 3 points for Manchester United. And I said after the Liverpool game, it was vitally important that we followed it up with another victory and beating Brighton. And we had to do that because we know what it can be like. You know, United don't win against Brighton or we have a bad result. And then you almost forget about the Liverpool result and you forget about that. We're back to square one. And I think the confidence in this team, as you see him right now, we've got a little bit of momentum, but you didn't want to set back to that confidence. And that was exactly what we needed. 3-0 up in the second half. Of course, we conceded those 2 goals. I think Patrick Dorgu had a little bit of a shaky 10 minutes when he came onto the pitch. And then they get that late goal to make it 3-2. And you're thinking, uh-oh, here we go again. I'm not going to lie. I couldn't even watch the last couple of minutes because I felt like that 3-3 might be incoming. But then Brian Mbeumo steps up with another goal and a fantastic finish as well. And he's been our signing of the summer. One of the signings of the summer in the Premier League. You know, we thought he was a very good Premier League player, but he was always a step up coming to Manchester United and the pressures that brings. And he's taken to it like a duck to water. He's absolutely fantastic and he's settled in really, really quickly. And not just him, Matheus Cunha, who only got his first goal, great goal it was as well, for the club in that game against Brighton. Outside of that, even though, I think he's been excellent. I don't think I've been worried about him because he hasn't got a goal or an assist. His performance at Anfield was incredible. The last couple of minutes, 10, 15 minutes, he was doing really well to kill time and, waste minutes and bringing the ball up the pitch. And he's a great pressure valve for us. You can relieve that pressure just by holding onto the ball. And Mbeumo Cunha, fantastic. Now, will they go on and make 300 appearances for Manchester United? Not many players can do that. And that was Bruno Fernandes against Brighton. And with Bruno, look, he's had his frustrating times at the club. But more often than not, week in, week out, he steps up, he delivers, whether it's goals, assists, commitment, drive, passion. He shows it all. He's an excellent captain for Manchester United. And for me, I know he doesn't have the silverware of some of our legends, but he would fit into any Sir Alex Ferguson team. He's that good of a player. And I think Sir Alex Ferguson would have loved him. We all love him. It's great to still have him at the club. I was questioning whether maybe you let him go, maybe you keep him, maybe, in the summer we were a little bit unsure. It was big money being offered by Saudi Arabia. And Manchester United kept a hold of him. Thank God for that. Because through the difficult times, he has dug in, he's fought, and he would have been a great example to those around him in the dressing room. It was an all-round, very, very good performance for us on Saturday against Brighton. And we need to keep it going, though. We need to keep that momentum going and hopefully make it 4 wins on the spin. We got a couple of tricky games coming up, Forest, Spurs, but excellent stuff from United. And what a difference here a goalkeeper makes. What a difference having a proper goalkeeper makes. Now, I thought Danny Welbeck's goal was great. A little bit central. Maybe Senlemen could do a little bit better with that. I'm being hugely critical there. But I thought overall he's been fantastic. He brings a little bit of calm, a little bit of composure to the team. And that's just what you need, because for far too long at the start of the season, we had Altay Bayindir and Andre Onana throwing him in. And he's coming in, he's helped everyone around him settle. Look, let's hope that Liverpool result at Anfield can be a catalyst for something. But it was great to get that win against Brighton. Let's keep it going, Reds. And who knows, maybe I'll start saying some ridiculous things like 21 is coming again.
Interesting stuff there from Adam. Buvey, what do you think about Manchester United? Have they finally turned a corner?
Yeah, they have. They look really, really impressive against Brighton. And yes, they fell off, like Adam said in the video, in the final 20 minutes when the substitutes came on. They'd had that quality off the bench to keep the system going. But the first 60 minutes, I thought they were everywhere, all over Brighton. I thought they were so impressive, Royce. What did you think about it?
What's happened?
I think it's beginning to gel in terms of the new signings. I think Cunha on one side and Mbeumo on the other. Bruno's had a great season, whether you rate him as a world-class player or not. He has had a good season. And the first thing when I watched the game was Casemiro. Yes, we can debate if the football's left Casemiro for top level, results against in the Champions League to win a Premier League title. He's a little bit too old for those kind of games. But against Brighton at home, 60 minutes, He looks fresh. He looks sharp. He brings so much balance to that midfield. He brings leadership. He was instrumental for the first goal for Cunha. Plays a great little first-time touch into Cunha's feet first time. He's a fantastic player. One of the best to ever do it in that position. And we forget that sometimes.
Yeah, I think you're right. Do you know who really caught my eye? And I'd go so far as to say, is there a better signing? Like, we've been speaking about the contribution of Wirtz or Kirkes or whatever and how it hasn't worked. I mean, Brian Mbeumo, he's been the antithesis of Florian Wirtz. Probably the best signing of the summer.
He's up there,
off the top of my head.
Yeah. And Cunha for me.
I mean, I think Mbeumo's been unbelievable. Like,
first
truly
brilliant.
brilliant.
The little nutmeg and all that. Oh, brilliant finish.
I mean, scoring in the way that he did, constantly taking up good positions. I just think he's such a good player. And I wonder now if it's going to work. It's amazing how football changes, doesn't it? Like, a few weeks ago, I genuinely believed that Chelsea were on the precipice of getting Ruben Amorim sacked. If we had beaten Manchester United at Old Trafford, when we should have done, by the way, the form that they were in, the form that they were in, the form that we were in, we should have gone to Old Trafford and won.
Yeah.
And some would argue that we would have won if we kept 10 men on the pitch, but 11 men on the pitch, but it's probably not true. If we had beaten them that day, though, I honestly think there's a real chance that he'd have been sacked. And suddenly they win that. They then find wins elsewhere. They beat Liverpool in the most dramatic and brilliant of circumstances.
This was the real
them
result.
A berth.
This was.
I agree with you.
Sunderland's newly promoted. I'm not going to ever criticise Sunderland for losing a game at Old Trafford. They spent billions of pounds. Liverpool's a derby. I've seen worse Liverpool sides beat Sir Alex Ferguson's side. So it's a derby. Biggest game in English football.
You're absolutely bang on.
This is the real one.
Beating Chelsea, it doesn't count. Beating Manchester United, it doesn't count because they beat
Even
Chelsea.
City.
They beat Chelsea, they lose to Brentford. They beat Liverpool, they lose to Brighton, but they don't.
But Brighton,
they don't, and it's a change.
Brighton have beaten them 3 times in a row in this fixture.
Yeah, I agree.
It's almost a boring fixture for Man United fans. I watched some of them in the stands on the TV, and I'm like, it's just a standard day out. It's Brighton at home. This isn't a big game, and this is where the Man United players have let the club down in recent seasons.
Yeah,
when it's been a bit of a boring game, when they aren't fighting for their lives, they didn't need to win this game. They didn't need to win it, and they won it unbelievably well.
Yeah, I completely agree.
The physicality wars of this side, they look very physically
they're lumped,
sharp.
aren't they? Yeah. Also, the keeper, that San Lerman, it seems to have brought a stability to the back line that is infectious. It seems to be a far calmer back line. Like, before, there were times when Matthijs de Ligt, who we know is a good player, looked shaky. Somebody like Mazraoui, who I rate quite highly, just looked all over the place. But often that confidence just isn't there because of a dodgy goalie.
Luke Shaw looks brilliant for me.
I know. And Bruno Fernandes has now made 300 games, 300 appearances for Manchester United. Where do you think he ranks? Like, what are we talking, Bruno Fernandes?
He doesn't make the bench for the great Man United all-time 11. Or, he doesn't even make the bench.
I agree with that. It's very high standard, though.
You probably had players in the 90s when Chelsea were maybe, struggling a little bit, or maybe in a mid-table club in the Premier League or whatever.
Yeah.
He's a great player in a poor era.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
He's our Dennis Wise.
He's a Dennis Wise type.
He's a Dennis Wise until we got good.
Yeah, City had it. George Kincladsey, for example.
Yeah, great player.
That kind of
cult
maverick.
Hero. Cult hero rather than...
Yeah, I think he's closer to being more of a local maverick than a world-class player.
Although, how important do you think he is for this momentum? Like, this is it now, isn't it? If this era, this three-game winning streak, if this now doesn't build the Amorim era, nothing will.
No, nothing will. They got so much confidence. It looks like everyone's fully fit. Barely any injuries. They made 5 substitutions. Kobe Mainoo, Dorgu, Yagar, all coming on. Xerxes was poor when he came on, but they've still got a deep bench. The only small thing would be for me in the final 5 minutes. I'm looking at Bruno Fernandes. He's pressing people. He's running at people. He's obviously one of the fittest players in world football. But is that a system where you still need to press an opposition into the 95th minute and get that 4th goal to get you over the line? So there are little things where, a top-level side can just keep the ball for 5-10 minutes and just ease off the pressure.
But see, this is where I think Brian Mbeumo is such a good player for them. The way that he's the kind of forward that you can ping a ball up to and he can play Mark Hughes back to goal, or you can play a ball in behind and he can Marcus Rashford it.
Yeah.
He seems to do more running off the ball than any Manchester United forward of the recent era.
He's a brilliant player.
Yeah.
And Cunha's another one as well. The opening goal was absolutely stupendous.
And 3 in a row. Although it is a bit of a statement, isn't it, that the Manchester United era of a bygone time, 3 in a row meant 3 league titles in a row. 3 in a row now means 3 wins in a row.
Yeah, beggars can't be choosers. I think they beat Nottingham Forest. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Do you think it's a system? Do you think this is Do you think this is a reward now for sticking with the system and sticking with the manager?
Yeah, it must be.
Like Casemiro over Maino now makes sense, for example.
It does. It makes sense. You can't play Kobe Maino in the system right now. You can't. I'm the biggest Kobe Maino fan of all time. I'm a selfish England fan. He got England to a final, second Euros final ever in our history. He came on against Brighton. He got absolutely flooded.
What happens to Maino?
He's a rotational player. 20 minutes. It's going to be tough. They've got no League Cup football, no Champions League football, no European football. He's going to have to wait for the FA Cup to get a game against Stockport County at home in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? So, I think they're really
it's
strong
good
at the
wins
moment.
for United, though, to play that low block, smash and grab result at Anfield, but then dictate the tempo at home against Brighton. It's exactly what you should be doing.
100%. It's really top level.
Good times for them. They are looking good. What do you reckon then? Cards on the table. Is this the real thing, or is this a bit of a false rise?
I think they're going to get found out in big games against the likes of City, maybe Liverpool in the other fixture, in the reverse fixture, Arsenal. I think this squad's more than good enough to get top 6. More than good enough.
Do you?
Yeah. On current form, what I'm seeing, and the fact that we're looking at, they're above Villa, who have been struggling this season, look decent recently. You lot.
Top 6? Do you think they finish above us then?
Yeah, there's a good chance.
Do you really?
There's a good chance. I'm not saying it's set in stone. When Cole Palmer comes back, he's a difference maker. But I think they've got a better squad than Villa. Newcastle's a tough one. They're above all these guys.
Yeah.
And they can spend money in January. They've got unlimited money for some reason. They keep spending loads of money on players. No, but they do, don't they? It's like unlimited money.
Yeah.
It's eventually going to work, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? For fair play to Manchester United. No wonder Adam McKola was on such good form and slightly tired looking, but...
He looked shattered. He was just chatting for 10 minutes. I hope the audience were watching all of that. The tension's gone through the roof.